right, ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your mind. Often imitated, but never duplicated. It's the Gathering of Old Men Podcast. Myself, TP and Molo, talking into this week's event. Oh man, welcome to another edition of the Gathering of Old Men Podcast. Myself, TP. Holiday. Marlo is on the way. We have a few other hosts that should be on the way. I don't even know where to start. Well, I'm gonna start here. To that young lady who posted that video on TikTok talking about your boyfriend in undergrad. Is your boyfriend at homecoming? Yeah, I reported her video. I ain't seen it since. I don't need them kind of problems in my life. I don't even know her, but we don't need people like that putting that out there in the atmosphere. It's just that ain't what it is. Homecoming is a wonderful event. We don't need nobody adding no extra drama to it.
Oh, that's petty as hell. The delusions.
I did, but I'm not gonna lie. I told her, like I put in her comments. You know I'm gonna report this video, right? I'm way too old to be dealing with foolishness.
The delusions.
And everybody that's hyping up homecoming, we ain't hit week one. People talking about G-Ho, FAMU homecoming, Bama State homecoming. Y'all are hyping up homecoming. We ain't hit week one. We ain't hit week 0.
I'm about to say we're gonna hit week 0 first.
So
next week.
I mean, Orange Blossom Classic got plenty of activities. I'm sure the SWAC MEAC Challenge got activities because when me and Marlo was up there was activities. So everybody, calm down. Relax. It's going to be fine. It's going to be a wonderful season. And before we get into the mess, I just want to say this. I know BZN was the one that kind of started it, but somebody posted on Twitter a graphic about FAMU winning more games than Florida State since 2020. And all I said was don't start. And BZN was like, pick a side. I can't pick a side. I can't. How am I gonna pick a side? In 1 year undergrad, I went to 2 homecomings, Kappa Luau, 5 other Greek weeks, Be Out Day, basketball games, and the other random party and networking events between FAMU and Florida State. Plus, I work at FAMU. I can't pick a side. I can't. That ain't in me. I love both. Yes, I cover FAMU athletics more than Florida State athletics. Y'all watch the podcast. Y'all know why. We're not even gonna act like we don't know why that is. But that being said, so earlier this week, there was a post about an Oregon player transferring to Prairie View A&M. And I jumped on it not because I didn't know that was a fictional player, but because I thought they were talking about an actual player that had transferred into Prairie View A&M. Because remember, not that long ago, Prairie View A&M roster counted like 63, 68 players. And we've seen the videos. We can count. That wasn't no 60 players. And that turned into something different. It was already stuff going on, but that turned into something different. So I deleted my post because it got real confusing. So I deleted my response. And my new response was, what about them other dudes that's on the roster that ain't on the official roster? And I was told the roster's updated. And I've since seen a video of Coach Jackson saying that they have 100 and something players, and they had 30 something players in fall camp. So I allow that to go. Meanwhile, in the background, there is. I got some background. Meanwhile, in the background, Meanwhile, there is some haymakers being thrown by them D people and Prairie View A&M. I don't know what started it. I don't. I'm just an innocent bystander in all of this.
What's Prairie View A&M mascot? What they?
The Panthers.
The Tigers, right?
Panthers.
The Panthers.
Yeah, they play.
Oh.
So we got a bunch of cats. They got a cat fight.
No.
That's just petty.
No, dude.
That's just petty.
No.
My bad.
It's crazy.
Look, I say this. I keep saying this. Prairie View, you have to get over the stigma of losing 80 games in a row. But I don't think nobody will ever get over that. You will never, most people will never let that down. Now, you got to win games. And you got to be consistently win consistently and consecutively. You got to win every year. You can't let up. You can't have a down year. You have an up year. You can't have a down year the next year. You can't do it because in order for you to change your fan base, you gotta win. You gotta win. And all the talk, I mean, and it's cool. You can have all the talk. You can do all the talking that you want to do, but it ain't gonna be anything until you actually put them pads on and you hit somebody that's other than your teammate. So yeah. And then until then, to be honest with you, we still the big dogs in the SWAC until we get knocked out.
Cats. Big cats.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what, Marlo?
I'm letting you big cats.
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
What?
Bro.
Oh, y'all.
What?
Hold on. So for people who watch the podcast a long time, I've had my Stream Deck. When we switched over to StreamYard, it has taken some work to get my Stream Deck to work with my laptop. Well, I got a new laptop.
They got to do better if the stream deck not working.
So the Stream Deck is now working, and y'all shouldn't have never let me, man. Okay, I got buttons. You know what? It's something missing off my Stream Deck. I knew something was missing.
You should have got Dave Chappelle. They should have never gave you money.
You know what? I would have, but I would fear that we already had some issues with YouTube. So
YouTube still pretending to be a family network.
I mean,
so.
Where is it?
Man, my kids be.
You can cuss and do all kind of stuff on YouTube, but they don't want you to say certain words.
Right.
I'm back. Yep, I'm back. Nothing is. There is no greater joy for me to just be able to hit a button.
Fuck Tom Brady.
That is just pure joy for me. Absolute pure joy.
He worked for y'all.
I'm gonna say this since you brought that up. Tom Brady does not get credit for the Aces on their recent win in New York. He don't get credit for that. He don't get credit for that.
Why not? Don't he own the team?
he part of the ownership. He don't get credit for nothing.
Damn.
It is now and forever be for Tom Brady.
The hate is strong in this young man.
Wait a minute, y'all. He hate that man worse than I hate Jerry Jones.
I don't know, bro. You told Jerry Jones' mama to get her black dress ready like that lady ain't already dead.
Yeah, that's real.
But I'm gonna double down on it.
I'm waiting on you to crash out over this man buying his 28th life. That man, he passed 9. That fuck on 28.
Listen, we talked about before we started the podcast the fact that Jerry Jones let the whole world know he had experimental research drugs to save his life because he had a melanoma.
No, but what I was
Stage 4 melanoma.
And I ain't expand on it. I want to know how they gonna present their research now, because at this point, studies are supposed to be blind. You know what you gave them, so
exactly.
Hey, Melinda, don't that like invalidate the whole experiment?
Well, first,
and they get
first off, in Jerry Jones' defense, I'm gonna side with him. Cause had I been a billionaire, it's a lot of shit.
Same thing too. Try to save myself.
What?
I ain't gonna lie. I would do the same thing too. But
Let me be a billionaire. Y'all want some funding? Fix it. And that's what happened.
Basically,
I
you're
don't
gonna
like
be
what you said, funding.
Marlon's gonna be the owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, sweet baby Jesus. If that ever happened, it's gonna be some changes made around this moment.
No, I do not need Jerry Jones to be the owner of the Cowboys. I need him to get his flowers and lie in a coffin and sell away back to Arkansas.
You don't need him to be the GM. He can stay the owner.
I don't need him to be any of them.
Damn.
I don't.
You know what?
I look. I'm still gonna stand on it. Yes. Put up my disclaimer.
Ooh, we starting early with the disclaimer.
I'm still gonna stand on it. Somebody need to go to where Jerry is from in Arkansas, unbury his mama, and get her to put that black dress on so we can bury him.
Unbury his mama. That's crazy.
Unbury his mama to bury him is actually diabolical.
That is different.
And I usually don't say that, but that
You win. You win on the level of hate. You win.
Well,
I told you.
Wait, ain't you a Cowboys fan?
I'm a Cowboys fan, but
that's why he's saying it.
That's why I'm saying it.
If he
I thought Troy hated his team.
No, I don't hate my team. The person who
so first off, we gonna clear some stuff up. I don't hate the Raiders. I hate Tom Brady. There is a difference.
Both of y'all hate the ownership of y'all team.
I mean, are you really a fan if you don't hate the ownership group at least once in your life?
That is a very
it's saying a lot about your ownership and the team you chose to rally around. If y'all continue to hate them,
some of us was fans before the ownership group.
I want to go ahead and make something known. If Hugh Culverhouse was still the owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Marlo would be trying to bury him as well. Don't let him fool you.
I don't have to live that though. He had an expiration date. And it has come. I don't know. I'm really starting to believe that Jerry Jones is a fucking Highlander.
And nobody said nothing wrong yet, Troy. Damn.
That shit is
That motherfucker is a Highlander. That bitch he get older, but he don't look like he getting older. Like normal, people. He just that
Let me rein this back in. Let me rein this back in because
he might be a Highlander.
Every week we get derailed by us.
So, actual topic. Tennessee Tech announced a couple days ago that they are leaving the OVC. And there's also rumblings that there will be more realignment in the FCS, PWI universe. And of course, that sparked two separate conversations that they merged into one.
Of course it did.
The genuine conversation is, what about Tennessee State? This is a valid conversation because Tennessee State is in the OVC, and the OVC is kind of resembling the old Southwest Conference where you got all these Tennessee teams in the OVC. And if they start to peel off with Tennessee State situation with state funding as far as the school is concerned, basically the state looking at them like, don't make too many crazy moves because we're going to watch what you do. Is Tennessee State going to be in a position where they're going to be stuck in an unviable conference that Eddie George and the former athletic director both said was an issue?
That's what it sounds like.
That's a valid conversation. So I would like to.
Wait a minute. Dr. Mike Allen is not it.
I'm not. Hold on. I'm not sure.
I think he's still there.
No, you're right. You're right. So I looked at the name and I assumed a different gender. That's on me. But Dr. Allen is still there. But the conversations we had 3 years ago that the OVC was a fragile, unstable conference. I don't know if Tennessee Tennessee Tech is a pillar of the conference. But they can't keep losing members, and they got an ESPN media rights deal. You know how them work, man. They ain't gonna keep watching you lose squads and y'all keep that same deal.
I mean, either OVC gonna invite somebody or everybody gonna leave and the conference will collapse. Bad part is I think either way Tennessee State gonna be in a losing situation if that happens, and not because of Tennessee State, but everything to do with the state of Tennessee.
Yeah.
I made fries with.
Yeah. I mean, people been begging Tennessee State to go to a black conference for the last 40 years.
They're not going to a black conference.
They're not going.
They're not going. Just like Hampton and A&T not going back. They're not going.
That's the conversation that should not have been a conversation, because it's cute to have that whole we need to be with our people. However, when you are making $160,000 just on your media rights deal per institution, why would you leave?
Because I know who ain't making $162K per institution on the media rights deal.
The MEAC.
Yeah. So
I ain't say that, MEAC folks.
I did.
It's been put out that the MEAC is making $30 million on the media rights deal.
I'm bringing.
Why don't they use some of that money to? Never mind.
It's because they have the MEAC has ineffective leadership.
That we about to say. No effective leadership means that you have 4 or 5 teams leave out of the conference within the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Yep. A&T left. We left. Them people in Daytona left. School, and then not even just that, like institutions just dropped.
Winston-Salem State left.
Yeah,
Savannah
North
Savannah State.
Carolina, A&T.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what? In the last 15 years, they've lost 6 schools.
Yeah, so let's see. What's that? So
Really, no,
yeah,
really about 20 years. About 20 years they lost 6. Right?
Fan, Bethune, A&T, Hampton, Winston-Salem, Savannah State.
Was Union?
No, Union was always D2.
Okay.
So you lost 6 schools, but you gained 1 because Central came back in as a Division 1 because they were Division 2. They was in the CIAA. So, and that's from bad leadership. And I don't think, but here's the thing. It's just like you said, there's going to be a lot of realignment in FCS. You're going to see a lot of teams, especially in that CAA. They're going to try to move to other conferences. You already had Delaware move up to FBS. You already have Richmond moving to the Patriot League. You got a lot of other schools like Villanova is just in the CAA only for football. They could survive. They could go into be an FCS independent and survive because they bank in basketball. William and Mary, you got schools like that. Old Dominion was in that conference for a long time, and then they rolled up out of there. So it's said that these 2 black schools is ruining our good old boy network, and and we're not gonna stand for this. We're gonna take our ball. It's basically white flight. That's what it is.
Well, and then on top of that, that governance model, and people need to really read up on the new NCAA governance model. That new governance model is wreaking havoc everywhere. I thought it was going to be FBS that was going to see the first earthquakes. And the little Sunbelt movement, that was small. But what came out from the FCS is big. And this just the beginning. I quite frankly thought, y'all talk about bad leadership. The ACC been having bad leadership for a decade and a half.
True.
I thought the ACC was going to be, I was predicting the ACC was going to break up first.
The Pac-12 have bad leadership. Hell, look what happened.
Yeah. So I'm just like, it is going to be crazy. And like I told y'all before, if FBS get a sneeze, HBCU is going to get pneumonia. And what I don't want is teams like Tennessee State to be left without a dance partner. Because if that conference collapses and they don't have a dance partner with their current situation, they're going to catch hell moving somewhere else.
That's why we've been saying you might well just move to the SWAC because it makes geographical sense for you.
We not hell no. It's too late. They keep their ass where they at.
But we been saying, everybody been saying that for the last 40 years,
and we stopped today. Damn them. They want to think that they above or beyond the annals of swinging with our regular HBCUs. Damn them. We ain't even got to play them in Atlanta no more. Fuck them. If they conference implode, that's on them. Fuck them.
They can go to the Pioneer League, but at the end of the day, Pioneer League, they don't offer athletic. But
I wish y'all could see me rubbing my fingers together by my ear. And that's me playing the world's smallest violin for them.
Okay.
So feel sorry for them.
let's say at the end of the day, you have
they made that bed.
but you got the schools like A&T, Hampton, Tennessee State, and then let's go look on what Division II. I mean, what you got West Virginia State that's in all white conference. NAI, you got Langston that's in an all white conference. Flomo is in an all white conference.
Virginia State just joined a whole different athletic association in softball, baseball, I think volleyball. It's D1 in that small school conference,
The USCAA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but at the same time, look at it like this. You have ineffective leadership over in the MEAC. She ain't looking to expand that damn conference. She gonna stick with those 6 football schools and the 2 basketball schools in that conference. She didn't even ask if she wanted to get Chicago State up in there. And we know they're a predominantly black institution, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, it don't make no sense. But you know, the most of the reason people. But what was y'all reason for leaving the MEAC? Travel, right?
Damn right. That shit was logistically dumb.
The reason for y'all two leaving the MEAC was for travel because y'all two are the southernmost schools in the conference. Savannah State left because they ain't had the kind of money to stay up in Division I. Winston-Salem State did the same thing. They had the type of money to stay up in Division I. A&T, we looked at it, what A&T and Hampton saying, well, the white man's ice is colder, so we just gonna go up here. And then Tennessee State was an independent for a very long time until they got it to the OVC because it fit them regionally because it fits them travel-wise. So, like, if you lose a team, let's say, okay, you losing Tennessee Tech, big deal. But if you lose a team like UT Martin or SEMO, you lose a team, a Gardner Webb, oh, y'all in big trouble.
Is that what would lead to the collapse?
I think it would. UT Martin leaving, SEMO leaving. Let's say Eastern Illinois leave and join the Missouri Valley Conference because that's closer to them.
Yeah, that's it.
I think if you gotta look at it from the standpoint of if I know teams are leaving, who can I bring in that might end up doing better than what we was before?
See, they're gonna miss Lawrence because going to the SoCon. You got them schools leaving, and let's just say, let's put it like this: you had Eastern Kentucky up in that conference, they gone. You had Western Kentucky was in that conference for a long time. They went up to FBS. But like I said, you got Tennessee Tech, you got UT Martin leave. If you got UT Martin leave, you got Tennessee Tech leaving. You got if you get Eastern Illinois going up out of there, you get SEMO up out of there. Hell, if you get Lindenwood, and that's in St. Louis, if you get Lindenwood up out of there, that conference is in trouble. Charleston Southern, Gardner Webb, who else? Western Illinois. They could join the Missouri Valley Conference if they want to, because it fits them geographically.
It is.
It has to make sense because the teams that are leaving, they're leaving because they're not getting the exposure that they feel like they deserve. So if they're gonna leave, then it has to be somewhere where they're gonna actually get some exposure. And then you got to look at replacing teams that you know are leaving. Like you look at what the Big 12 did. The Big 12 knew that Texas, Oklahoma was leaving. Those two biggest schools in the conference. And instead of facing collapse, they brought in other talented schools and try to rebuild.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this, TP. They should have, for the Big 12, they should have been had University of Houston in the Big 12 from the get-go. That was their mistake right there.
After the Southwest Conference.
After the Southwest Conference dissolved, Houston should have been in the Big 12.
But that was back when the Big 12 had 12 schools.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
that was a thing.
But what I'm saying is that University of Houston had a lot of clout, but they should have, and they had a lot of clout, and they was coming up on football, but their thing was basketball. They should have been in the Big 12. You're talking about a school in the second and third largest metropolitan area in the United States, in the third biggest city in the United States. I'm not taking
the most egregious thing about, and I'm going back to the realignment of the Southwest. I mean the destruction of the Southwest Conference. When Arkansas left, that pretty much ended the Southwest Conference.
It killed it.
After that happened,
and all Arkansas did was go to the SEC and they head kicked in every year since they left.
But they were better. So Arkansas football, they were still good, but they were better in basketball at that time. So
but how many national championships have they won?
One.
They just won one.
They won one.
The head coach.
They could have won two. They could have won two if they would not lost to UCLA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But my whole thing was, when the Southwest Conference collapsed, that Dallas TV market with SMU, that Houston TV market, those markets should have been capitalized on some big conference, whether it was the Big 10, the Big 12, or the SEC. They are now, because you now have TV people in positions of power in conferences, them people looking at, hey, we need the markets. It is a reason.
That's the reason why the ACC had went and got SMU.
It is a reason why the Big Ten been flirting around with Florida State. Ain't no Big Ten schools in Florida. And USF. Dear USF fans, let me go ahead and tell you this right now. Hell could freeze over 5 times. Y'all ain't going to the Big Ten. Nobody cares about your A or AA accreditation. Nobody cares about that. They don't care. The brand they want is Florida State. They was feeding Florida State information to break their grant of rights. They was feeding Florida State information to basically win that lawsuit. Florida State going to the Big Ten. But I just want everybody to know that nobody is pushing HBCU teams, the HBCU conferences. That is not my goal. My only goal is, hey, get paid. Because $30,000 for a media rights deal in 2025 is insane. And ESPN only broadcasting 38 OVC games a year. That's crazy.
You know what? So how many games are they broadcasting for Missouri Valley Conference?
I don't think I'm about to say something.
Because I think, like, say, North Dakota State uses their own, when they broadcast their games at home, they use their own TV affiliate. Hey. Now you got the new look. You got the new look Pac-12. With Washington State, Oregon State, you got Boise State, Utah State, Fresno State,
But
who was
even so, they have a similar. The Missouri Valley have a similar deal with ESPN like the SWAC. So they have ESPN as their primary. They have a secondary. I just missed the name of it, but they have a secondary. And I'm trying to see how many games. But again, their media rights deal is basketball based. They are pushing basketball. Yeah, it's basketball based, but it doesn't tell me how many games. So there's assuming they probably take 15, 20 games.
Hey Lawrence, I'm not paying $30 to even watch a PLE from WWE on ESPN. Why the hell would I do that? I'm pissed off.
I have
What's ESPN DTC?
That's their new streaming service where you get Disney Plus because they want you to get in for the kids. Then you get the ESPN channels, ESPN 1, 2, and then you get the games that are available on streaming. I told you I get 14,000, 15,000 channels. I'm not doing that. I'll catch all those games anyway.
Yeah, and then the only way you could watch a premium live event for WWE for next year is you gotta have that right there for ESPN because they're moving to ESPN, which 10 years
I don't
ago,
watch wrestling.
I do. 10 years ago, they should have kept everything on the WWE network. But
you know what? I'll show you how. I'll show you what I got. You ain't got to do all that. But
I thought you could get Disney Plus on Hulu.
You can,
but you can get it with this. They have a standalone service now to where you don't have to have an actual cable plan to get the ESPN channels. You can just because with Disney Plus you get the ESPN Plus stuff, but you don't get ESPN and ESPN2 and ESPNU. With the $29 package, you get all of that.
What about the HBCU channels?
So the SWAC games that are on there will be on. You'll be able to see them on the Plus channels.
Yeah, they're all on the Plus channels.
Yeah, those are going to be on the Plus channels.
I think that it always brings me back to the question of, media rights and how we've been done. And I'm going to try not to get long-winded with this, but part of my research when I did my master's degree was how the media depicts, portrays, and deals with minorities, people of color, as well as women in their broadcasts, in their coverage of sports. And one of the things that has always bothered me is that we have every demographic that you could want as a media outlet, as a broadcast crew, team, channel, and as a corporate entity. We have every demographic. You want someone with blue eyes, we got that. You want someone with kinky hair, we got that. You want someone that can't grow their hair, we got that. You want someone who has full lips, thin lips. You want someone with dry skin, oily skin, whatever demographic you're looking for. You want a beer drinker, we got that. But every single thing that you could promote, we have. And what they do is they create these channels, they create platforms and put them behind paywalls. And then say we ain't got the fan base to continue that said product.
Right.
Well, why are you making us pay to watch ourselves? Because if we're going to pay, more than likely we're going to go to the game. Right? if we can do that. But then you want us to pay, you know, X number of dollars to watch this game online, and it ain't even going to our schools.
Mm-hmm.
So what we paying for? Because I would gladly pay you $30 because I can go, that might be cheaper than a game ticket to go watch them live. Definitely cheaper if I'm out of town. But you want me to pay $30 for some other people that I ain't even gonna watch. Or you want me to pay out the wazoo for every single game and then can't even go back and watch it. You just giving me clips.
I
And
think
then
that,
our schools don't even own the content that's being posted by these other entities. Why?
Because it's in their contract. That's
I
what they
know.
signed.
I know. But what I'm saying is, why aren't we allowing the schools to own their content?
So
This the same reason why a rapper wouldn't own his own content, because he can't afford to market himself.
That's not true.
Oh, hold on. So
That's not true.
here's why I be beating that dead horse, right?
One,
I spent too much time in internet technologies to know we should have been on this.
Mm-hmm.
UN came in and said, we got a model, it'll work. Nobody don't need to pay nothing, and whatever your school raise is what your school keep.
Yep.
And this will get the platform rolling. The SWAC looked at that and went, no, that ain't for us. FAMU and Grambling State, I ain't trying to start no mess. I'm just telling you facts. FAMU and Grambling State, you cannot broadcast on this network. It was a big whole lawsuit. FAMU pulled out of it. The AD got kicked because of this. All of this is out here. And now we are, how many years later? 3-4 years later, the SWAC now has SWAC TV. We do not know all the details of it. I'm going to be very transparent. If they have the sales and marketing team engine in place and rolling, this could be big. But again, SWAC TV is not breaking any new ground. UEN became the industry standard when they got the entire NAIA on board with their platform. This ain't nothing new. The proof of concept has already been put out there and it works. So you got schools getting money. How much money? We don't know. But you got schools being able to determine their own determination on how well they do based on what they generate. You built $1 billion industry from a company that wants to give you $7,000 per event. It costs more to move the goddamn band than $7,000. But again, I'm gonna get off my high horse. We got SWAC TV. Change is coming. I don't know what the MEAC got going on. I ain't heard nothing. Whatever their deal is with ESPN, I believe it's coming to a close soon here. I think in the next year or two. So they're going to also have to make some moves. But again, long win, the changes got to be made. I will say this, though. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back to the disrespect segment. I seen something online that really jammed my Glock. I feel like I need to talk about it.
I jam your Glock, bro.
Jam my Glock, dog. Jam my Glock. So I think we'll jump on some little strip club etiquette, and we'll be right back. Strip club food etiquette, and apparently I got socially profiled at Hotel Derek. But let's get none of there.
Is it a such thing as strip club food etiquette?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. You cannot go into a strip club that specializes in seafood.
Oh, no.
Contradictory sense, Some stuff ain't gonna make no sense. Some stuff is gonna some stuff is gonna go together that shouldn't go together, and it's basically just not gonna be a good experience for those who have come for the food or those who have come for the strippers, because they're gonna get confused as to what they smelling.
So,
Well, that's a good way of putting it.
I'm gonna put this out there again and say I have a problem with there being a special strip club event during Lent. Like, if I need my food and my strippers separate, I definitely need my religion and strippers separate. Like, I just
you don't want the kitty pancakes.
No, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. So yeah, I'm not gonna say nothing after that. That brings us to
the disrespect segment.
Ooh, the day, sometimes you see stuff and you be like, no, I ain't just see that. Not in 2025, I ain't see that. However, Northern Illinois University's head football coach, Thomas Hammock, decided he was going to get on the internet, get in his interview, and they blasted it all over the internet, and say that he didn't need NIL when he was in school. His experience was the great lessons for him. And you can look the video up. I'm not gonna play the video because I'm not gonna get him.
Who was it? Who was it again? Was it
the head coach for NIU? I don't disagree with nothing he said.
How old is
he? Our age. This is why I disagree with him, right?
What school did he go to?
I don't know what school he went to. I didn't research his background. I researched what was their record last year and try and understand what he was saying this year. Now, his comment was, we have people that leave that don't start. Cool. You're at NIU, you went 8-5 last year. I couldn't find anybody that had a first round grade from NIU last year. So I'm trying to understand where this is coming from. You're complaining about paying players. You have to.
I don't think that was that was not his complaint, and that's why I know that you took that video out of context.
I was gonna say, I was trying to figure out what school he went to.
And like I was trying to, I don't know if Troy saw the whole interview, but from the clip that I saw, at no point did he say the kids shouldn't get paid for their service. He never said that. He said that he didn't get paid and that he would do it again for free because he learned things that helped him through life. And that's what kids should be getting when they go to college. They should be getting the tools to be successful after college, because only 1% is going to make it to the NFL. And if you do make it to the NFL, the average career is less than 4 years. So he's talking about kids jumping in the transfer portal all willy-nilly. And I agree. They shouldn't be just jumping in the transfer portal all willy-nilly, going places where they're not going to play, where they're not going to prosper in life.
This is why Thomas.
So I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this clip because this is the only one I can find right now without going to Twitter. But I'm gonna play this clip. Play this clip.
Emick is the man. New head coach sounds off on nil.
Let's see who plays. So it's all good when people put it on Twitter. Hey, all glory to God. I'm going in the transfer portal. Let's see if they play. How many of those guys gonna play or travel or get snaps? You know, I was thinking I was gonna tweet something the other day, a picture of me, and say, you know what? I enjoyed my college experience. I didn't get you can ever pay me. And I appreciate that because that is long term. People are losing the fact that this is short term. I coached in the National Football League for 5 years. 5 years, right? Don't lose focus of what the long term. Get your degree, learn valuable lessons that's going to help you in the long term of your life. That's the whole purpose. This is a transition from being a kid to a grown-up. And I hope people don't lose focus of that. Everybody's talking about everything else besides what is the most important thing for going to college. Because if you're going to college to go get a couple dollars, you might as well go get a job. This is too hard to go get a couple dollars. Learn the lessons that you need to learn to be successful in life for the next 40 to 50 years of your life. I would do it again for free, because of the things I learned. That's why I'm standing here today, because of what I learned in college, not because of how much somebody gave me. That's what I would tell people. And parents, they need to learn that lesson too. Stop trying to live through your kids. Go teach your kids what are the things they need to learn to be successful. That's what I'm telling my kids. I don't care about no NIL, no revenue share. I can care less. You need to learn things in college to get you prepared for life, to be a father, a husband, to work, everything else.
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there.
So what did he say wrong, Troy?
I don't think he said anything wrong.
I'm gonna go right down to it. First off, revenue share is the law of the land. NIU opted into the house settlement, which means they have to revenue share. They have to.
He said he don't care about it.
Let me finish.
But he's saying, but this what he's, but Troy, this is the thing that he's saying.
Let me finish. In a vacuum, you are 100% correct. He didn't have to bring up revenue share. He didn't have to bring up NIL. The fact of the matter is, we are in a situation because for eons, we had a college football system that was indentured servitude. That is why those lawsuits that took years to go through the courts hammered them with billions of dollars in lawsuit settlement. And it could have got worse. To have a coach who was in FBS football try to gaslight this situation to say, hey, you don't need no money. You can get a good education from Michigan. You can get $5 million, get your degree, and still have an opportunity to get to the league. They don't say that. They don't ever say that. They always say, man, you throwing your life away for a little bit of coins.
But the thing about it is, Troy, what we're saying is that what he's saying is that why do kids transfer all the time? Why are they transferred to multiple schools all the time? Are they gonna play when they get to these schools? Like you got that, okay?
Because they with the multiple transfers. I don't have a problem with that.
And to go back to your point, their school, it is mandatory that they revenue share with their players. So what he's saying is they're chasing bigger bags, right? I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna enter the transfer portal because I could potentially make more money. Because that's all I'm worried about. I'm not worried about my degree. I'm not worried about bettering my future. I'm worried about how much money can I make right now. And not everybody goes and gets a bag. That's what he's saying. Everybody isn't going to get that. That is for a select few, just like a select few make the NFL. Everybody that's in college right now should be focused on getting a degree and getting the tools that they're going to need to be an adult and be a contributing citizen to the world. Like that's bottom line. And he said that there's too many kids that's not worried about that part. They're only worried about the money.
I would 100% agree with you, with the exception of a few problems. One, these transfer portal kids, we still got over 4,000 kids in the transfer portal. We ignore the fact that once the house settlement, let me finish. Once the house settlement cleared, a bunch of them got pushed out. The ones that got designated DSAs, designated student athletes, were either able to come back or transfer without penalty in that extra window after the settlement was ratified. We ignore all of that. We got coaches that, I'm sorry, it's only a few. Because there are coaches that are saying, and I'll use another example. There is a young man at the University of Colorado that just got an NIL deal of a valuation of $1 million+ to promote a sports drink. That coach, in one side of his mouth saying transfers bad, NIL is bad, steady getting these players NIL deals. And another coach who was complaining about the NIL revenue share marketplace. Again, I agree. Some of these kids who are just willy-nilly chasing transfers without a signed deal, yes, that's a problem. The other problem is that you have coaches who will not accept reality, who was 8-5, who has not gotten their alumni on board with the new reality of college athletics. If I got to be the bad guy, that's fine. You're going to have to pay these kids. You ain't going to have to pay them $50,000. You may only have to pay them $15,000 for the year. You may only pay them $33,000. The average FBS NIL deal is still $33,000. There are few that are making millions.
Very few.
That's all I'm saying.
If you look at the amount of kids that's in college right now, only a few are making millions. And
exactly.
To the point, you have a lot of kids that are in the transfer portal right now that don't have a school, and school is starting.
Yep.
They don't have a school because half of them got kicked out of their school.
What about the other half that didn't even get picked up to begin with? Because they should never fucking travel. They should never transfer.
But TP,
they transferred. They
transferred. I'm gonna tell you like this. I'll tell you like this, TP. They could have went JUCO. They could have went NAIA. They could have went Division II. They could have went FCS. They could have went anywhere. They could have went.
And if they were already on scholarship, they should not have transferred, because now you don't have a scholarship. Now you're begging somebody to give you a scholarship, hopefully getting paid. Like I said, hopefully. They got to give you something because of the revenue sharing aspect. But at the end of the day,
we got to be fair real quick. It is not just the SWAC. It is also the ACC, the SEC, and the Big Ten. Their rosters are not correct. There are less players that's in the transfer portal.
This is college football nationwide. This isn't an isolated to HBCU. Oh, no. This isn't isolated to black kids.
No,
this is
what I was saying. Right. What I was saying was that the roster, we don't know the exact number of players in the transfer portal, because there are players that are out of the transfer portal that are still listed in the transfer portal that are on rosters that are going to be probably playing week 1, because there's this new thing where I don't want to tell you all the players I got on my roster. There are schools with 140 freaking players, but they're gonna act like they got 80.
I feel like this. Let's rewind this. Who was the person who actually sued the NCAA for name, image, and likeness? It wasn't a football player.
Ed O'Bannon started everything.
It was Ed O'Bannon.
No.
Why? Because he saw himself and he saw his likeness and his image in a video game, and he was not fairly compensated. He and other folks, because his name is on the lawsuit. It started with him. Here's the thing. Did he get fairly compensated for all that stuff? And that was 30 years ago. No. So,
he got a chunk. He got a chunk because he was the original.
Because his name was on there. But what I'm saying is, for those 4 years he was at UCLA, did he get a chunk of the jersey sales? Did he get a chunk of the no? So it started with a basketball player, but we ended up doing it for football because football is the moneymaker. You see how backwards that is right there? Because a basketball player, a former college basketball player, had the balls to go and file a lawsuit with the NCAA and say, "Give me what you owe." And it ended up going to football. because that's where your money is at.
We have the football.
But what Coach Hammock said, he said the truth. I'm gonna be. I don't get me wrong. It's some parts. It's a bits and pieces that he said that.
That's all I'm saying. The bits and pieces that
the bits and pieces
had to put them together.
Because for him, remember, he old school. He like just like you said, he our age. You know, he old school. So he's like, yeah, I'll go back to school for free. I don't care because that's what he's used to. Ain't nobody's not used to this right now.
No, and
nobody's not used to this. Like if you had all these boosts, if you had the boosters from the old Southwest Conference right now, and NIL is in play right now, these folks are still alive. These motherfuckers will be Birdman hand rub.
TP, I'm sorry, Doc. They coming.
I'm just saying, if you had the old school boosters from back in the 80s, right? Back then, you know what I'm saying? 80s and 90s. And they looking at the NIL, like NIL right now, it'd be Birdman hand rubs all day, every day. Because they guess what? They could build themselves a national championship team, or they could be like Texas A&M with Jimbo and piss it all away.
What's the Barstool Sports dude, Portnoy?
Yeah, Dave Portnoy.
He said he had enough of Ohio State. He got on a Zoom call with big money
Boston dude.
And with big money boosters and said, enough.
He's finna get a dude. I don't care about him.
I'm just saying.
He went to BC. I do not care about him.
But BC ain't gonna be. No, he did this for Michigan. That's what I'm saying. He did this for Michigan. He put together the collective to get that money to Michigan so they can start grabbing players. All I'm saying is this. And it had, and I told, I'm not gonna lie, I told Tashi, I told Ash, I said, because of my age, I'm the Facebook alumni age group. It's hearts and minds. At some point, we're gonna have to get the Facebook alumni to buy into this new college reality. Because that's where it is. People our age going, you know what? Maybe we should.
You talking about that, man? You got to go all the way back. We tell them, we all tell my age. You got to go all the way back to College Club. You got to go all the way back to Black Planet.
You know what I'm saying? Because we got people our age on Facebook going, because all they hear is that they in the echo chamber of Facebook, and all they hear is, oh, these kids getting $5 million. What HBCU kid getting $5 million? We talking $5,000, $10,000.
But I think also there's not a realistic view of what's going on, right? There's a far cry between what a Power 5, Power 4, whatever it is now, it might be the Power 2. Who knows? They done changed so much, right? But
you're right. Power 2.
Right. Part of this whole dynamic and changing landscape of sports is that it reminds me of politics, right? We are constantly the powers that be, the people that are in charge, the people that are making the decisions are constantly taking from the less, like those that have less, and feeding into the people that have so much already. And then we look at the overall landscape of what's going on and saying, well, why do you need this? And why do you want that? Because we've already given you X, Y, and Z. No, you've given it to the people that already have. And the people that don't have are still scraping the bottom of the barrel to figure out how they can just get a little piece of the pie. And I feel like that is what athletics has become. And this is not an all-inclusive trip around the sun, right? This is the Power 2, Power 1.5, that has dictated how athletics is going to operate. And there hasn't been a consistent effort to make sure that those that don't have these enormous budgets and these top givers, large corporate sponsors and donors and things like that, how are they going to survive? How are they going to maintain what is happening with their program? Will they be able to survive? And if not, what is the strategic plan that is going to allow the schools that have less or nothing at all to give to their student athletes who are saying, I need to be paid to play? What are we doing to justify the end of this? Because there seems to be no end right now. And those schools that don't have enough are struggling. They are hemorrhaging financially because they already don't have it in their budget. And a lot of times they don't have enough to make sure that when these kids are coming, that they can do the basic necessities for these kids: scholarships, travel, meals, housing, all of the essential things that the smaller schools are struggling with, because where are we getting it from to begin with? And are we going to continue to allow the power 1.5 to 2 to dictate how all of college athletics operates? I'm so glad in the NAIA we don't have to deal with that at this at that level. We don't. It does not impact us the same way. It's not to say that we don't have challenges, but we're not overcome by a handful of schools with these enormous budgets saying that the rest of the organization has to operate the same way.
And you know what the crazy thing is, these schools that have the enormous budgets don't even make a profit at the end of the year.
We're gonna do another show on that. We're gonna do a show on that. we're gonna do a lovely show on that. I might get kicked out the alumni Facebook group again after we do that show, but we'll do that show again because, you know, Florida State taught me a lot of things. Math, they taught me real well. And when the math wasn't math and I started putting 2 and 2 together, I was like, oh, so that's how they do that. Okay, all right. I see you. Anyway, so there is at SUNO, Southern University at New Orleans. They have a night vision fundraising campaign, and this is the soft launch on our channel for that fundraising campaign. We will have AD Matthews on here next week to actually go through everything, because I want to give his vision of what they're trying to do. I'm also going to talk about last year's basketball team, and since we're slow rolling to basketball season, I'm going to pick his brain about some basketball this season. You know how I do. Like, I'm going to get to the business, but I want to know the dirt. Like, okay, what y'all got going on? So we're going to have him there. But this is the kickoff of their fundraising campaign. Please, if you can, and I'm going to be like a pastor, if it's $5, if it's $10, whatever you can donate, please donate, because your $5 and 10,000 other $5 makes a big dent in their fundraising. So again, you know, so I'm gonna pass around the collection plate. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm gonna pass around the collection plate. I'm gonna put the link in the chat so you can click on it. Hold on.
I still get stuff up in here from the Southern Foundation.
Man, speaking of fundraising, I get, because of the Johnny Black campaign, I am on a lot of people's mailing list, and two schools I'm a shout out, without a doubt. Two schools that make sure they know that I gave my little coins, and if I got some more coins, I can give some more. FAMU, North Carolina A&T, and FAMU, North Carolina A&T, and Grambling. Jackson State, they hit me like every other month. Maybe they don't like me no more. I don't know. But consistently, every week, A&T, Grambling, and FAMU, I get them messages. So again, I love the marketing to try and raise that money.
Let you know we need to bring on here. We're gonna bring Dave on here to talk A&T football because the delusion that come out of his mouth is so
Who is that?
Dave.
You know what? So here's the thing.
Him and Markham, Emmett Banks.
I'm gonna say this, and I mean it. I'm gonna say this with my whole chest. You do not want rational fans in the preseason. These season tickets got to sell. These jerseys got to sell. This fundraising got to move. I'm not gonna be no rational fan before the kickoff. It is Florida State by 10. I don't care who don't like it. Like I said, I don't want no humble pie ass quarterback. And it don't matter how big my quarterback is. It don't matter. Just know it's Florida State by 10. So you and your little surfing elephants, you're going to surf in the Tallahassee and you're going to limp out. That's all I got to say.
Hey,
you don't like what I got to say? Get your Alabama podcasters the better eyebrow. I can't find nobody. I done posted it everywhere. Nobody don't want to talk.
I say go on and get Dave, Banks, and Lionel. Three of the most delusional people that's on HBCU sports channels.
You know, I mean, nobody can be more delusional than Marlo about his Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I'm cool with it. I'm definitely cool with it. I'm definitely cool with it. So, you know, we talked a little bit around football. There are quarterback battles around the SWAC that nobody wants to talk about. And there was an announcement. Who announced their starting quarterback? Somebody announced their starting. Southern announced their starting quarterback.
Jalen
Woods, which made sense that we saw Noah Bodden at Edward Waters College, which is an interesting transfer.
Let's put this in perspective right here. So Noah Bodden comes from New York. He's a city kid, right? He was brought down to Grambling by Bruce Eugene. Shout out to Bruce, right? To try to get a QB spot at Grambling. Hugh Jackson, I don't know if he fumbled that or whatever, but he fumbled it. You know what I'm saying? What he does with he goes down to Southern. He had a chance to start at Southern. He did start some games at Southern, so he does have some tape at Southern University. He got outperformed by a redshirt freshman. Is Jalen Woods a true freshman? I think he was a true freshman last year.
I think he was a true freshman, yeah.
So you got outperformed by two freshmen last year. And now you transferred not to no FCS, not even to FCS, like a Pioneer League team or whatever. You transferred all the way down to Edward Waters University, a Division II school.
I want to make a statement, and I love the way that you said transfer down. I feel like in a lot of ways we needed to take that out of our vocabulary, because I think that is why there are so many kids who are banking on the transfer portal, right? Because they believe that the only way they can be successful is by playing D1. And a lot of our kids are not D1 caliber student athletes. And they could actually do very well and even better by playing at an NAIA institution or a D2 or a D3. I don't like D3 because they don't give scholarships for athletics, right? Their focus is solely on academics. So you can get an academic scholarship, I believe, but you cannot get an athletic scholarship. But
from me, transparency from me. You never heard me say anything about any level negative except for coaches. And
I don't want to. I'm not saying it as a negative connotation, but I'm just saying the way that his name was blown up when he first got to Grambling from New York City to where he is now, because he's done got outperformed at one school by Southern by two freshmen, and then also he was led astray by one head coach in Hugh Jackson. Remember, he came down there. He came to Grambling when Fobbs was the head coach.
I'll say this: so EWC may be a better situation for him because it is more city than the other two places are. So it is definitely a more city place. I'm not sure why Marlo hasn't chimed in because that's his uncle's school. Who we really, you know what? We really gotta get his uncle on here since he's the president of.
I have to be politically correct when I do it now. He's the head of the Alumni Association.
I'm sorry, head of the Alumni Association. My bad. So we got to get him on the show, but I think Jacksonville is more city. You know what they used to say about the guards from New York? He's a city guard. I think he's more of a city guy. And EWC might be a better pace. Oh shit, I forgot what EWC is. Hopefully EWC is a better pace for him. But I don't want to make it negative. Also, if he does perform at EWC, which I looked at that coaching staff, they don't have a bad coaching staff. They could.
Yeah, I'm about to say Juice took over the coaching staff. Juice Jenkins took over the coaching duties after Morgan went over to Tennessee State. So you got to
pray. Let us pray before I say this, because that dude gonna unmute his mic. I picked Edward Waters to beat Bethune-Cookman.
Woo!
That wasn't no damn stretch.
I'm about to say because Clark Atlanta did beat him last year.
And listen, the reason you're not gonna hear me say nothing bad about D2 schools and NAIA schools, Billy Joe is probably my favorite head football coach of all time.
He came from NAIA.
So I know what can be done down there. And hell, if listen,
I said, but what I'm saying is I didn't mean it to where it was a bad connotation.
Oh, no.
I'm taking it out of my vocabulary, Danny. Thank you for let me take that out of my vocabulary.
I didn't think you meant it in a bad way. I believe that we have to give kids a better perspective of what opportunities are there. And I think once we start changing how we refer to other divisions that are not D1, then we can really begin to give kids an accurate view of where they can go and be successful. Where they can go and focus and be a really, really great athlete and an equally great student as well, right? So I didn't take it any kind of way from you. I know you well enough to know that you're not dogging other divisions and organizations, but it just reminded me of these conversations that we have, that you can go D1 and be a complete bust.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But while you're at a smaller makeup in the NAIA or another division, you can do really, really well because you will be the premier player, or be part of a program that is more cohesive for you. So giving kids that perspective to say, I don't have to go D1. I can be at another division and do really well. Because how many of them at the D1 level are going to go pro anyway? It's less than 2%.
True.
That's what I was saying earlier, Danny.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I heard you. Y'all were over talking each other. Everybody was talking at the same time, but
it got sensitive. It got sensitive.
It did. It got a little sensitive, and I think that's okay. We need to have these discussions. We need to be in this safe space with just us, where we can get a little chippy with one another, but also understand that we're chippy not because we're trying to dog anybody or anyone else on our team or whatever, but because we're passionate about what we're talking about, right? And unfortunately, a lot of other people that are having these conversations are doing so because they're jockeying for a position to prove a point rather than prove that the student athletes the worth and the value that they bring to their institution, no matter what level they're playing at.
Right.
That's right. Don't send your kids to Miami.
Now, I say it like this, and a lot of people like say, well, he transferred down. He went Division II. Like, to me, it's like they're going somewhere to where they can get an opportunity to play, for one, and then also get an opportunity to get at least a sound education. Because if you're on scholarship, for all the folks that's watching, that's looking, all the high school players that's watching and looking right now, scholarships at the collegiate level are on a year-to-year basis. It's not no 4-year average for a scholarship. It is a year-to-year basis. So if you don't have the grades at the end of the spring semester, you can kiss that scholarship goodbye. And then you're gonna have to pay out your own pocket. So it is imperative for you to go to class, be attentive, be productive. That's the whole thing about it. I'm a parent. We parents.
I'm gonna add one thing, because young man at Florida State got dismissed. I'm not gonna name his name. He's entitled to another chance. But those coaches are there to help you. You should not be trying to fight a coach. You should not be trying to disrespect the coach. That coach is there to help you. So whatever you have going on, you need to communicate, hey, I have some issues. Don't blow up at the people that are trying to help you. Because when you blow up and you get into physical altercations with the people who are trying to help you, they can no longer help you. You have now taken any help they can offer you out of their hands. You have taken their position and you've made them a joke. So now they have to make you an example. Because I'm gonna say this just like this: if you'd have went to that man and say, "Hey, coach, I got this going on. I got all this going on. I'm going nuts." They can get you some help. If you blow up at the coach and you swing on him in front of all the white people, he can't help you no more. Because now you've become a stereotype. You become entitled in an NIL and in revenue sharing era where they already think you're entitled and you don't deserve it. So no, they can't help you. But you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to get back in the game and change your life. You might have to sit down this year. You might have to go to a JUCO and just go to class. But remember the lesson that you learned. You lost everything. And word on the street is he tried to get back on the team. And Coach Norville was agreeable to him being back on the team. But you have an entire new defensive staff that have to establish themselves at Florida State. And that defensive coordinator could not allow you to be back on that team. It is okay to ask for help. That's my little soapbox. That's my little soapbox. Now, but getting back
You're
to
right.
this
It is okay to ask for help. It's not okay to remain helpless.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
For real. But I know we got a little derailed on the quarterback discussions. There are a lot of quarterback battles going on in the SWAC. There's one going on at FAMU. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all no more. I know I got about a 90% idea of how that's gonna go down.
RJ Gibson.
No. Oh shit. Pretend I ain't say that. I don't know nothing. But it is a battle. It's a battle. It's a closer battle than I thought, but it is a battle. I don't know what's going to happen in Daytona. I haven't heard any words.
I think Cam Ransom's going to be the starter. I mean, if you was named second team All SWAC preseason, you're going to be the starter.
Grambling has a new offensive system, so at this point, I don't want to project out because I think Bama State has named a quarterback. Was that? No, I'm sorry. Alabama A&M announced the quarterback.
Yeah,
Kai Higgins was gone. And my hearing is because I think Ty said it that it wasn't even that close of a battle anyway. So I think
whoa. Time out. So you mean to tell me
I don't want to misquote her. That's what I thought I saw her say that.
Okay, so before he got put off the team for academic reasons, you mean to tell me that Quad Brown was literally beating Mekhi Higgins in the quarterback battle? Because
if I'm not mistaken, the propaganda that I saw made it seem like Quad Brown was going to be the starter regardless. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken, y'all can at me on Twitter and say, hey, no, that's not what we were saying. I'm cool with that. But that's what it was made to seem like they are fine in their quarterback situation. And Quad Brown, I believe, is a 7-year senior, if I'm not mistaken. So there's Bama State situation. Again, Andrew Body won't be available until later on in the season. Again,
why he won't be later on in the season?
I thought he said, hold on. He had a whole year off, and I thought he was on track for October. Hold on.
It was his shoulder again, right?
Yeah.
So he had a whole year to rehab that whole shoulder. He better be the starter week 1.
Oh, well, Montgomery Advisor says that 2025, he's eyeing to be the catalyst.
I'm about to say, he better be the starter. Because that first game was in the last week was the last Saturday of August last year, and you mean yeah, and he got injured one game. He missed the rest of the season. And you rehab. You come back. You come down into the last week of August. If you are strong enough, if his arm is strong, his shoulder is strong, he should be the starter.
Don't run that young man. For the love of God, do not run that young man. Let him sit in the pocket, throw the ball. If he needs to scramble, for the love of everything, slide. Don't let nobody touch you. Nobody.
You seen him slide?
I ain't never seen him slide. I seen him try to take on linebackers.
There's a reason. You ain't never seen him
Listen,
slide.
I know where my allegiance lies. Don't get me wrong, but to see talent on the field, I'll get on my soapbox real quick, y'all.
I get what you're saying. I get it. Don't let him slide. I'm just.
Slide. I don't know what the minor league affiliate is. Take us behind over there, and he don't do nothing but slide.
He got to do something. Get that baby a slip and slide or something. Let him.
It's some players I talked about need to be in bubble wrap in the past.
Oh my God. He yes.
Too much talent in that young man for us not to see him. And then I don't know who the starting quarterback going to be at Prairie View or Texas Southern.
No, Texas Southern, I think it's going to be KJ Cooper.
KJ Cooper. Prairie View A&M, I'm not saying this disrespectfully. I'm saying this because of what y'all give me. I don't believe nothing y'all tell me. Nothing. You said you had 68 people on your squad. We've seen the videos. We can count. Now all of a sudden y'all got 120. I knew how many y'all had the whole time. Because a lot of us, when y'all see those, when those little commitments go out, some of us bookmark them. I need to clean up my bookmarks too. Some of us bookmark them. So the math wasn't mathing for me. What else we missing? Preview. Okay, so I haven't heard anything about Alcorn starting quarterback.
Last time I heard, it might be Jalen Tolbert.
Okay.
It might. I ain't gonna say it is. It might be.
I'm sorry, Alcorn. I want to make sure I say it right. Don't get mad at me, G. Alcorn. I'm from South St. Pete. I'm gonna say
Slaughcorn. I'm gonna call it just like that.
Slaughcorn is crazy.
I'm trying to get through these so we could get to this Texas situation. Cause Alcorn. Who we missing? We missing somebody. Valley. Don't know who's gonna be the Valley quarterback. And listen, if you are a football player at Mississippi Valley State, you have my utmost respect. Because we talked to Coach T-Buck. And it was off the record. So I'm not gonna say it, but if you still there after being in that heat with Coach T-Buck, you get a Purple Heart. You get a Purple Heart. That man is Mickey Andrews through and through. That being said, TP?
Yes, sir.
Your Longhorns play Ohio State.
Week 1.
Week 1.
Diabolical.
That's all right.
So I'm gonna say it, and I don't care who don't like it. And it's because of the Fighting Acorns fan base who made me believe that. if Coach Day lose to Texas and lose to Michigan, he gonna have to win another national championship.
If he lose, so here's the question, right? Do Ohio State make it back into the playoffs with losses with those two losses? They do have a very favorable schedule, because if you look at the rest of it outside of the Texas Michigan game, they have nobody else to really worry about.
Do they play Penn State?
I don't think they played Penn State. Hold
No, I don't think Penn State is on their schedule at all. Yeah, I can look.
Yeah, they do. They play on November the 1st. But they playing Columbus.
Yeah. Okay. So, and what do we know about Penn State? They fold.
I'm looking at their schedule. They do have a more favorable schedule. The only game that they got that's one of the harder games, other than Michigan and UT, is the Penn State game.
And if they lose all three of those games, they don't make the playoffs.
They don't make the playoffs.
They can't lose to Penn State and make the playoffs. No.
No, and if they win, and even if they, let's say they run the table, right, and they beat everybody else, but lose to Texas and Michigan, they still have a chance to make the playoffs, because they'll still be in the conference championship game, because that would be only one conference loss.
Right. They don't play Oregon. They don't play they do got UCLA.
Trash.
They don't play Michigan State. They don't have Indiana. They do got Wisconsin.
Can we tell the truth about Indiana can we please tell the truth about Indiana? Please, for the love of God.
You mean
the Indiana
what school did those kids come from again?
James Madison.
That's James Madison Part 2.
They
are a very well coached team. Now I watched Indiana's games last year, and what I saw was technical football on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
You can win a lot of football games just based on that. Based on your players being where they're supposed to be.
But when you play teams in the upper echelon of the Big Ten, and it's only really 3 schools that have physical talent, your Jimmys and Joes got to be better than the technical sound kids. That's where Indiana runs into the problems. And I'm not just bashing Indiana. We've been waiting. I'm 52 years old. I have never seen Iowa in a national championship game. Never even heard of it.
That's another thing Ohio State not playing either. They're not even playing Iowa. And that is
they're not playing Iowa.
Wisconsin either, is they?
They play Wisconsin.
Wisconsin not gonna throw the ball.
That's a rivalry game for them.
Yeah.
Wisconsin not gonna throw the ball.
I see Indiana making it to the end of the season with 2 losses, with a chance to get a at-large bid. Because if they run the table and their only losses are the Oregon and Penn State, who will probably both be in the top 6, they can make a very strong case. They can make a strong case.
Yeah, they're just in the Big Ten.
And they can potentially beat Penn State, because they got Penn State on the road November 8th. And I can almost promise you that's going to be a whiteout. And every time Penn State whites out in November, they lose.
and we talking about Indiana.
Yeah, I'm talking about Indiana going to Penn State November 8th.
Ooh.
Oh wait, hold on.
Whiteout.
Listen. Let me go ahead. See, y'all make me be this guy. So I'm gonna be this guy. Listen.
You play to win the game.
If they lose to Indiana, James Franklin.
If who lose to
if Penn State lose to Indiana.
James Franklin got to be out of there, man.
And all his rape scandals got to go. He is the only man that I know who has survived 2 player rape scandals and walked out unscathed. Nobody else has had such things and got nothing happen to him. He didn't have to answer no questions, no nothing. So if he lose to Indiana, yeah, pack your bags, buddy. Pack your bags.
Man, I'm sorry. I'm watching on my phone Buford versus Milton, Georgia. And they just new stadium up tonight. It's on ESPN.
Yeah, they got 6,000 people there, more than Miami have at a home game.
And fit 10,000. Great. Well, I can't say that because I'm from Texas, so shit. That's just another day in the park for us.
It may be more people at the Orange Blossom Classic than at a regular home game for the Ibis. The only Ibis game that might sell out is when they play Notre Dame on Monday night.
Ooh. That's their first game?
That's their first game. They finna get ran out the gym.
Catholic versus Convicts Part 2?
Man, them ain't no convicts down there. Them some old prep school boys. Ain't nobody scared of them no more. They ain't won a ACC conference championship ever. And then the young man gonna have the nerve to ask a Grok, hey, when did Florida State win their first ACC championship? When we showed up.
Was it 1992, wasn't it?
92. We agreed to join the conference in 91. We joined in 92 and won in 92. And ran off a streak of ACC championships. Only broken by a cheating ass ref in a Virginia game.
Was that the Aaron Bush game?
That was the Warwick Dunn. They said his knee was down game.
Yeah, but Aaron Brooks was on that team.
Yeah. So, listen. This first weekend of football, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be absolutely great. It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be wonderful. We will be doing the SWAC, MEAC SWAC Challenge coaches call on the 18th, and I will be doing those clips. Shout out to Mr. Roberts who had at the SWAC who has his brand new position. So, and I'm talking about, I had just talked to him, and then hang up 4 hours later, he get his promotion. I'm like, you should have told me. I would have said congratulations. We was on the phone. So,
yeah,
again,
shout out to AD Drew for sending out the communication for the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
So, he listen. We were always legit, but we was bona fide when he invited us in the door. So, shout out to him. I wanted to talk about the Aces a little bit because they did beat New York. Asia is her, and apparently, Coach Beck think that Asia just need to be by herself. So it's just Asia who should be MVP. because we keep sending away players for some strange reason, and we keep winning. So we might make the playoffs. I do want to acknowledge that I feel like the rookie of the year should be
Paige,
the superhero we don't deserve. I feel like she should be rookie of the year. I want the Florida State girl to be defensive player of the year, but I'm gonna chill on that right now. I'm gonna wait and see how that goes. But getting close to the WNBA playoffs, and I'm gonna be ready to talk my noise. We will be bringing back the Madness Basketball Podcast. I have sent emails out to athletic directors about getting the coaches on to the show before we get to SWAC Meet Day, because I want to kind of start before, because we do have a lot of coaches, and get all the coaches on, as opposed to last year be trying to scramble and grab coaches in the middle of the season. So I'm in the works for that. If you are AD watching the show, I promise you there is an email from me, or there's one on the way from me. So I believe I've covered Jackson, Alabama A&M, and Grambling so far, and I have emails waiting to go out for, I think, 6 more. Also Florida A&M. I don't think we're gonna get that Florida A&M interview. Charlie has a whole team. I don't know if our show format matches with what his team sees, so I'm not optimistic on that. I'm just being transparent, but I did send it out. So hopefully, God works in mysterious ways. Let's hope Charlie get on the show. But anything else I missed before we start wrapping up things?
Let's see. What else we got? The Delusionals.
Man, I was trying to avoid that. You know what? I'll let you handle that in your FaceTime. I'll let you handle that. I will let you handle that.
Let's see. Let's see. David Justice.
You know what? You're right. Let's get to that.
David Justice. Yo.
So first off, right? He did one interview, and this, I believe that was on All the Smoke podcast.
All the Smoke.
So before we get into this, there was some lies being told that we need to correct before we even get into this. David Justice played for the Atlanta Braves in Atlanta, Georgia, in the height of the Atlanta Braves run.
Shout out to my Braves.
I was broke, poor, and hungry, and had women. You're not finna tell me light skin David Justice from the Atlanta Braves in the 90s, when they was in style, he ain't have no women. Who is you talking to? Ain't nobody stupid, and don't nobody believe that. That being said, that man said that him and Halle broke up because he could not see her as a woman to cook and clean and raise kids, because she said she didn't want to have kids at the time. Okay, cool. That's what you said. And he said that after their split, he didn't have because he was just an athlete. He didn't have a media machine behind him to slander him. He didn't say slander, but if you listen to it, it's basically what he was saying. Listen, I am but a mere mortal. If I was in David Justice's body in the 90s, I would have been in the streets too. I also wouldn't be, what is this, almost 40 years later? Revised David Justice and Halle Berry.
30 years.
30 years later, revising history. Old hoes have to own up to being old hoes. And to get on this internet and act like you was an angel, that wasn't right. And the whole stuff is just the light stuff. You and Christopher Williams seem to have similar issues. That's what you was trying to erase. That's what we're not talking about. We're not talking about that stuff. And that was a clever move. But I'm a shout out Halle Berry for being petty, who posted herself laying in the bed, cooking and cleaning it. Can we? Them was chips in a bowl. Them was chips in a bowl. But you know,
man, let's talk about. We didn't get a chance to talk about this. The game October the 4th between FAMU and Valley.
It's been it so. All right. So as I reported, when HBCU Game Day first reported that there may be an issue with the location of the game, y'all know me. I'm gonna pick up the phone and call. So I picked up the phone. I called the SWAC. They referred me to Valley. I picked up the phone. I text FAMU's SID. They referred me to Valley. I called Valley. I went to voicemail. It is my understanding, based on some alumni reporting from FAMU, that there will be an announcement. I thought it was going to be today, but hopefully here in the next couple of days, there'll be an announcement of the venue, which will be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and the ability to buy tickets. Y'all need to hurry up. It's a bunch of disgruntled FAMU alumni that's ready to go to the Atlanta Founders Day Classic. This is what the alumni is calling it, because Atlanta is FAMU North. That's my understanding. But if you're going, until it's official, it ain't official. I'll put it like that. I was being fair. I'm gonna let Doc have it. I'm being fair. Unless it ain't no game in Atlanta, because I done already bought my flight, and I'm gonna be pissed. But go ahead, Doc.
What I'm talking about?
Atlanta Classic.
The Atlanta Classic. You know what? I know Valley just got they just got their AD last month. But this should have been settled months ago. Even when George Ivory, who at that time was the interim AD, should have had that taken care of. Valley, it's time to get with the times, man. It's been time to get with the times. It is time to modernize. It is time to come into 2025 and not 1925. Let's get. You gotta get on the ball, get on the right track. And I'm not saying anything bad about you, but it's time for y'all to. It's been time for y'all to come into modern society. For the fans that, that had, they're going to the game, that bought their ticket for the game, keep it, make sure you get there. But also,
ain't no ticket for this game. You can't buy that ticket yet. That ticket is not even listed on Mercedes-Benz website.
It ain't. Well, it's probably on the Valley website.
No, it's not. No, there is a gap between the two games. That's that's why it got ugly.
Yeah, it's not showing up anywhere.
Well, MU fan might we go on and get ready, get your bug spray ready. Because if you ain't going
the devil is a lie.
Go to Innovator.
The devil is a lie. I will be watching on whatever.
Ready. Go on and get your hotel room in Greenwood or Greenville.
Listen, I done heard too much about you got to get a hotel here and then drive 50 miles. Ain't nobody doing that.
Well, Greenwood from Greenwood to Innovator ain't no but like 10 minutes.
Marlo,
Marlo,
are you driving with all that equipment to Italy?
Second hand. Or third.
But they would have been closer to the wall.
I got it.
That's a good drop.
I'm just saying they ain't got no ticket. Hey, you might be going to get ready to go to Innovator. Get your bug spray ready. Make sure you got your appetite because they will feed you at the tailgate.
I am not finna go on another excellent adventure with Marlo. We is not doing that. We're gonna wrap this here up because I know we running a little late and I don't want to lose TP. But again, SunoAthletics.com. Donate anything you can donate. Anything you can donate. But listen, I'm like the good pastor. Don't be sending your food stamps. Do not be sending your food stamps. We take ones, tens, fives. We take folding. We take folding change. Folding change. So, but yeah, whatever you can do, man, please. Please. It is helpful. It will change some lives. That being said, Dana, what you got for us this week? Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, because I know TP gonna have the kids in a second. Yes. TP, what you got for us this week, man?
Well, preseason is in full effect. You know, a lot of guys that, you know, have been preparing all summer, rookies trying to make a name for themselves. All that being said, my boy J-Rock is down in Houston, Texas. Rookie out of USC. I'm just going to call him a DB because you put him on the field, he's going to make a play. He's been doing it all training camp. Preseason, he's showing his ass. He's showing y'all that he can be there. You know, we've had a couple injuries in our secondary, so he's going to get the opportunity. And I cannot wait until he steps on the field on a Sunday in a regular season game and makes a play that just blows everybody's mind. And everybody going to be wondering, how the hell did we miss him? And how did he drop to the third round? That's going to be the biggest question around him. How did he drop to the third round? Because he's been an amazing, he was an amazing athlete at USC. He's a corner that can cover, tackle, shed blocks, ball hawk, can literally do it all. I mean, he catch the ball, he run the ball, he tackle, he will walk your dog and paint your back porch. He do it all, and I can't wait. But Texans, this is our year. CJ Stroud, they done reloaded at wide receiver, got him some more help in the backfield, retooled the offensive line, new offensive coordinator. We're basically giving him the keys to the Ferrari and letting him drive without insurance. You go out there and you do what you got to do, man. The defense has been doing his due diligence every year since D'Amico Ryans has been the head coach. I don't have any concerns on the defense. It's the offense that has to match up. You know, and that's, you know, we have a top 10 quarterback, so it's like how can you say that? Well, we saw the glimpses of a sophomore slump, and a lot of that had to do with the lack of tools. You can't You can't have all three of your top three receivers get hurt in the same year and expect the quarterback to go out there and give you Hall of Fame numbers. It just doesn't work that way. You got to have the talent around a quarterback. I don't care who it is. Peyton Manning is in the Hall of Fame because he had 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers to throw to. Tom Brady will be a first ballot Hall of Fame. He had 2 Hall of Fame tight ends to throw to, plus a very good receiver that understood the offense and where to be and was healthy and available for pretty much his whole career. But with all that being said, we got all the tools that we need to go out there and be successful. It's going to be a fun year if we're able to stay healthy. Catch us in the chip. That's all I'm going to say.
TP came out swinging. Danny, what you got for us this evening now?
I'm just grateful to be back in action, back in the swing of things. The internal team knows a lot about what was going on with me, and I'm just grateful that everything is turning out better. Day by day, things are getting better. But I think for me, one of the biggest things I can say is that you have an opportunity to take care of people and to do right by people. And I think over the last few months, you've probably heard me say this in various ways, but to always, there's always the right time. The time is always right to do what's right. You don't have to wait. You don't have to have an invitation to do what's right and to do right by people. I've been in a few situations over the last few months where there have been attacks and there have been other things going on. And I think that what has shown through is that your integrity and your character always precedes you. How you've treated people along the way comes before you. That is your reputation. That is your the part of your legacy is how you've treated people. And so I'm not perfect. Y'all know me. Y'all know I got a smart mouth. I don't deny it. I'm not not declining that card reader, and that goes through every time. And I know that about myself, but I also know that I'm big enough to admit that when I'm wrong. I'm big enough to be held to account, and I'm also not beyond reproach. I'm not one who's going to sit here and say I do everything the right way. Sometimes I respond and I shouldn't. But I do believe that there is a manner in which we do things, that no matter what is happening around us and to us, what comes out of us, what comes through us also needs to be as loud and boisterous as the attacks or the hell that we go through. That gratitude needs to be just as loud. The response in a respectful manner needs to be just as loud. And there are times when that response is a loud silence. I know that's confusing to some people. How can it be loud if it's silent? Silence is still a response. And we are not required to attend every fight and battle to which we receive an invitation. And I have gotten to the point whether you are right or whether you are wrong, you're right. I looked in my purse earlier today and found out I ran out of F's to give. They gone. I spent them all a while back. I ain't got no more. So whether you're right or you're wrong, you're right. Whatever it is you think and feel about me, you're right. Because I'm sure at some point I have screwed up and messed up and done things that I shouldn't have done. So I hope that how you feel about me is my present self and not the self that you met at a different point in my life. But whether you're right or you're wrong, you're right. Because I have no more F's to give about your opinions about a Danny, a version of me that you met so long ago, or the version of me that's present that you just don't like because it's going to hold you accountable.
You know, sometimes I have to tell myself not to jump in fights. I have to tell myself not to jump in fights because I have no problem putting somebody car on 3 flats. Doc, what you got for us this week?
Well, I just finished season 4 HBCU tonight, so season 5 starts next week. Also, HBCU Saturday night starts next Saturday. So I've already said I wanted to do a pregame, a halftime, and a postgame show for the SWAC Challenge. And I want to go ahead and keep it that way for every Saturday for the season because there's a lot to talk about. And there's a lot of football games to be watching. It's, you know, especially since now I have the freedom to be off on the weekends and to be able to watch all the games. Now, a couple of things on a serious note. We have the so-called orange president who decided to initiate the National Guard and said took over DC police to curb crime and violence in the nation's capital. But what I've seen on Twitter and on Facebook is that the police, DC police, are acting like a Gestapo unit. And if you don't know what the Gestapo is, I just Google it. It's free. They are doing illegal stop and frisk. They are challenging everyday citizens, especially in the I wouldn't say poor parts of the city, but I would say places like Southeast DC, which is known for a lot of crime, but they won't do that in Oxon Hill. They won't do that in any other white part of the city, but they'll just go to the black parts and harass and be citizens. Got to the point where I seen 6 officers rush one guy and literally almost beat the dog mess out of him. And he's doing that because why? He's taking the heat off himself because he knows that he is a PDF file. He knows that he is on Mr. Epstein's list. He knows that he was in the wrong. So what do? You say you say things to where you take the narrative off of you and put it on them. So the mobilization of the National Guard and the takeover of the DC police is more of smoke screens from what really is going on with this person, this man. You are a PDF file. So other than that, you're looking at what dictators are doing, and Stacey Abrams gave you a blueprint, gave everybody a blueprint of what a dictator does. He tried to suppress a group of people or groups of people. He tries to say that he tries to take control of the media. He takes control of the government. And if you ain't on his side, he'll basically tell you you're gone. We don't need that in this world. We don't need that right now. So midterm elections are coming up. It is definitive that you get yourself out there and vote. Especially for the House and the Senate, because if not, the country is going to be screwed. On another note, we talked about this earlier before we went on live. Drake has decided to up the ante in his lawsuit against UMG. It's telling the record label that he needs to see all records of if Kendrick Lamar was accused of domestic violence or any other type of violence, that if he has any record, and also if Kendrick Lamar's kids are really his. Everybody know, we all know about the rap battle. That rap battle was over a year ago. They still talking about it. Drake literally lost it. He lost the battle because Kendrick did something that a lot of people wouldn't do. He flooded in a 2-3 day span, 4 songs in a 2 to 3 day span. One of the most scathing diss records was Meet the Grams. And if you haven't listened to that, I think y'all need to listen to that. But Drake lost. Drake is in his feelings. He's losing money on tours. He's canceling shows. And Kendrick is out there selling out stadiums over in Europe, having mosh pits in Europe. And Drake is just spiraling out of control. I have lost all respect for that man. Hey, man, just take your ass whooping like a man and just go on about your business. And last but not least, shout out to my Tennessee Volunteers for going back to Adidas and getting out of those Nike jumps. We have all of our success in Adidas apparel. Appreciate it. But anyway, as always, be blessed, be safe, hug your loved ones, love on your loved ones, crash out on your kids, and beat about the penitentiary. Be easy.
Woo. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, every time I do this, it's a risk.
Disclaimer.
I'm gonna be good. I promise. I'm gonna be Marlo good.
And I am for all the smoke.
I am not responsible for what this man says. But we're about to go on a journey. Marlo, what you got for us this week?
Oh, sometimes when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. This ain't that. if this isn't a call to action for everybody who values what America really stands for and to stand for something, I don't know what it is. This is almost like back in our civil rights days. As an American, everyone who has a TV or radio or can see this ain't normal. You don't have to guess or even be very familiar with the political norms of this country to know the things that are happening are not supposed to be happening in this country. Like the actual overthrow of our government to a dictator or some sort of monarchy is afoot. And it is time. And I know, you might hear from a lot of pundits and people, but you can see it. You can see what is actually going on. And I, I ain't scared of shit, but this concerns me. This should concern everyone who cares about a democracy. And I don't know no other way to say it, but you have to hold your local representatives accountable, and because all politics is local, it starts where you are in place. Because this could not have happened had we not been asleep at the wheel. He could not have gotten elected with 49.5% of the vote, which he thinks that's an overwhelming majority, which that ain't never been a majority of nothing. But I digress. I see like they make TV shows about what's going on. They make um, satires about what's going on and how America is perceived worldwide. Like this is starting to become embarrassing. So if you don't get out and vote, you're complicit in what is happening to America right now. If you don't get out and vote and exercise your right, you cannot complain when the police pull you over and snatch you out the car and make you show ID and they don't have to tell you anything. Like you can't complain. So I've felt the need to say that and to say get involved, be diligent. Don't just let people tell you anything and accept anything that may happen to you while you're out and about. Be very mindful that we are in a different time, a different day and age, and for all you young black men that may have run-ins with the law, get pulled over, the number one thing in every traffic encounter is to get home safe. No matter how you feel, no matter if you feel offended or anything else, the number one thing is to get home safe. So make that your mindset in any encounter with the police. Because right now, we don't know. We really don't know. So that's my time. That's my thoughts. I hope everybody stay safe out there, stay vigilant. And we are in a day and age where you can video anything anywhere. You walk around with a camcorder on you at all times. So if you see something, record it, especially if something don't look right, don't seem right. That's the only way we're gonna bring truth to light. So That's my time. I hope everybody stays safe. And I know sometimes I can get kind of controversial and say stuff off the cuff, but I really want y'all to be aware. So be blessed, and y'all have a good week.
Unless you go to Daytona.
I was gonna say it, but I ain't want to mess up the message.
It was a good message. Just leave it at that. It's a good message. It's absolutely a good message. Absolutely a good message.
And Volusia County Sheriff is a Trump supporter. And where's Volusia County?
No, it couldn't last.
What city is in Volusia County?
Go ahead and say it,
What
Mark.
school is it? That damn Daytona Community College. And I know they probably get pissed off at me saying that because they bigger than damn BCU.
You done? You done, dog?
Okay. I'll be done.
Whew, ladies and gentlemen, again, I am blessed to have an amazing staff that I get the podcast with every week. So again, shout out to them. Usually after Marlo, I have something positive after Marlo, but Marlo was so positive, there's no reason for me to be overly glowing and positive. I'll just be my normal self. First off, I've been kind of depressed because of the stuff that I'm going through with my health and cancer. Prostate cancer is a bitch. And it's not necessarily the cancer itself, it's the treatment options and what if this and 1% that. So I have to do things to keep myself out of the negative. And God loves me. So God gives me things to focus on. God apparently needed me to see some IBIS people going back and forth with Florida State people. Now, that's your prerogative if you want to pick fights with schools that actually win ACC championships. That is completely in your prerogative. However, I just want to make sure we understand a few things. Yes, we went 2-10 last year. It was the worst season of an FBS coach. But you know what happened in that 2-10 season? People tuned in to watch. More than the 5 people that was there to see you at Hard Rock Stadium. Wanna know why? You know what Florida State do? Money. That's why. We are the brand of the ACC. It's not Clemson. It's not Duke. It's not North Carolina. It's Florida State. Do you know one? You want to know why? Money. That's why. We showed up and we won from day one. Last I checked, we are going on year 22. And the Ibis have won how many ACC championships? 0. It is a reason why the Ibis is the dumbest bird. And I know God don't like ugly. However, God allowed me to see you dissing my school. And you know what we do. Win, lose, or draw. Money. So, while you scrambling around trying to find somebody else to run a Ponzi scheme so you can get some NIL money, just remember, not on your best day, not on your worst day, will you ever be better than Florida State. That is my parting shot. Oh, wait a minute. For everybody here at the Gathering Old Men podcast, HBCU Overdrive with Doc Holiday, Danny, Marlo, TP, Lord Jamal. We are out. But you know what? One more time for the Ibis people. You know,
and fuck Bethune-Cookman. If I ain't say that, fuck them. I ain't want us to get off this pod without somebody saying it. So it'll be me. It'll be me. Fuck them.
I really have an email to them. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are out. We really have an email to them.